last day of the trip. For whatever reason, this section of the river is desolate. We haven't had any fish. I think it's because the water's a little bit warmer. Usually if we get like a hurricane or high rains, this area gets kind of blown out. So it'd be hard for them to survive anyway. So Devin and I decided that we're gonna hike back toward the brook that we know is much colder and does have fish in it. And we'll start low and work our way up. So sort of where these two rivers intersect. But we gotta break down camp, get our packs packed, and then hike probably, I think it's a mile or two before we get to start fishing. So once we get to that bridge, we'll fish up the river, probably a mile, mile and a half, and then we'll just hike out. We originally were gonna hike through this wilderness, up over the mountainside, and then get picked up on the other side, but I don't have service and haven't been able to contact our rides for a few days now. So we figured it would just be easier and faster to get back to our vehicles and give them peace of mind, reach out and say, hey, we're alive. But anyway, we're gonna break down camp and get this thing rolling. We gotta try.
Yeah, at least I feel like at least until we're satiated,
right,
and then see what we're getting into,
right.
And I don't know. I don't need to spend all day out here, but we're getting into good fish.
We were hiking down the trail earlier, and we're sort of up on this bank behind me. It's probably, I don't know, 40 feet tall. We look down and we see this giant boulder behind us. Massive boulder with a really shaded deep pool, and we figured we'd fish that. So we got some flies in there real quick just to see, and nothing. Unfortunately, with a river like this, that's kind of what you get most of the time. So at this point, we're gonna start working these shaded banks. That's where I found brook trout in this river specifically before. When the river sort of meanders away from the main vein and it gets under this canopy, that shade provides pretty solid habitat for the fish to survive in. So I'm just making my way down this rocky shore side, and I'm gonna get some casts to see if we can catch anything. Rookie, you need it. Looking. So Devin just got a fish, which is great, but we still are looking for him. I feel like we're not even close to figuring this river out. But I'm switching over to my Chacos, getting out of the boots because we've been having to cross the river more frequently. And these bends are going to bring us down into some shaded pools with a better canopy. I'm expecting to catch some fish over there, but since Devin just caught one right above where we were hoping to catch fish, I'm thinking this section might have some more in it. So we're going to spend a little bit more time. We've been hiking past a lot of water. I haven't been filming a ton because of that, but the expectation here is that sooner rather than later we're going to run into some brook trout that are what we want to catch, not these little 3-inchers. Is it clear up there? It looks like it. Kind of. There's one blowdown that's going to be in the way.
It's not the trail right there.
I'm not sure. This water's noticeably colder down here. There's a nice shaded pool too, so I'm gonna take the pack off and get some casts. there's a shaded corner up in front of me that looks like the water's really pooling against the bank. It's got a good canopy. You know, we're trying to find these fish. We found one really small brook trout in this entire river. I mean, this is a river. This isn't like a, 4-foot wide brook. So it's a little sad. We're not seeing minnows. There's really no sign of life. So we need to start focusing more on habitat. In that corner down there in front of me, right way down here, it's starting to look like a better, more shaded pool of water for these fish to survive year round. So right now at this point, because the temperatures are going up, because water temperatures aren't really staying in sort of optimal range for these fish, we need to start finding those year-round pools that do hold the right temperature, are out of the sun, and just give them a chance. So I'm gonna make my way down here. I got about 150 yards. Devin's catching up. We're just gonna pray for a bite. A bite would be good. I'll take a bite. Well, that deep pool had no fish. Not even shocked. We're just getting on this trail that parallels the river. We're hiking down it, checking the river to see if there's any deep pools, running a streamer through it, and if we don't catch anything, we're just moving on. We're not really on a time crunch, but neither of us have talked to our girlfriends in over 2 full days at this point, so we should probably let them know that we're alive in a little bit. But we're just gonna keep running down the river, and I know there's a section up here that actually does have brook trout in it. I've been very successful in those pools. So we're gonna make our way down to that while also sort of prospecting all of these deeper pools. It's kind of a shame. I mean, you've got these pools that are 7-8 feet deep and there's not a single fish in them. I don't know. I fished this spot 2 years ago and I caught all my brook trout out of it. You got a solid canopy right above. It's shaded, the water's cold, it's fast, it's got a nice section of pools all throughout. So this is like the only stretch of river, it's probably a mile long, that actually has fish. So I'm calling it right now. We'll catch all our trout right here. Let's catch some fish.
Don't know.
10 maybe?
A white mountain 30.
That's right. All right, just like I said, we're getting into the fish. We're catching some nice ones. I mean, for a high mountain stream, anything that's 5 inches or greater that's a nice fish. So starting to have some fun here. It's a good way to end the trip. I heard a brook to my right. I think this is an offshoot of the same river, but it looks really, really fishy. I'm gonna check it out real quick.